Greetings and salutations. We finally made it to part 3 of our guitar kit build for charity in support of Northern Critters, and I'm excited to share the results with you. So is she. Let's get cracking. Before I show you the final kit assembly and let you hear some demos, I'd like to take a few brief moments to explain what this project's all about. Northern Critters in Need is an animal rescue charity operating in Northern Ontario. They primarily work with remote communities to help with their surrendered, lost, stray, and injured animals, finding them their forever homes. The organization is run by donation, and they're always on the lookout for volunteers and fosters. So if you think you can help in any way, please check out their Facebook page, link in the description. Our family has volunteered and fostered with Northern Critters in the past, and I thought building and auctioning a guitar kit would be a pretty cool way to raise some funds and awareness for their cause. I was looking for a Canadian guitar kit supplier to work with on this project and came across Solo Guitars. I asked, and they said that they would collaborate. They offered me a nice discount code to use on their website, which I did, on a tele kit and some finishing supplies. So thanks for being awesome, Solo. Want to see how I finally put this kit together? Let's go. All right, let's get down to business. I've never built a guitar kit before, so I asked my buddy Perry from Monkey Guitars if he'd oversee the final assembly in his workshop. Seeing this as an opportunity to watch me solder my fingers together, he quickly agreed. Is it solder or solder? Who knows? Here I am shielding the back of my pickguard. Single coil pickups are known for experiencing 60 cycle hum, which is low frequency noise primarily caused by ambient electrical interference. Fortunately, the noise can be somewhat mitigated by shielding. In part 2 of this series, I painted the pickup and control cavities with conductive shielding paint. I put a bit of paint on the guitar top to make sure it would make contact with the bridge plate, control cover, and shielded pickguard, completing the shielding loop. Next, we tried making sense of the wiring diagram that I downloaded from Solo Guitars. After some discussion with Perry, we figured out where to connect each wire, but it was pretty confusing because the colors were a lot different from the diagram. The yellow wire from the neck pickup was actually a pair of black and white wires. The red wire from the bridge pickup was a pair of red and black wires. The blue wire in the diagram connecting the switch to the volume pot was actually yellow in my kit. Finally, the black bridge plate grounding wire connected to the tone pot was white rather than black as shown in the diagram. The only modification I made from the wiring instructions was to ground each pickup wire to the back of the volume pot rather than the switch, as there was lots of room. And Perry said that this is what he usually did. Next, we wired the volume control to the guitar's output jack and grounded it back to the volume pot as well. When soldering, or whatever, it's good practice to tin or solder your wire tips before soldering them to various connections, as it prevents corrosion, makes for an easier connection, and enhances the wire's strength and flexibility. Thanks for the info, Google Gemini. Lastly, I soldered the bridge ground wire to the back of the tone pot and fed the other end through the little hole under the bridge, where the wire would wedge and make contact with the bridge plate when we screwed it down tightly. After that, we plugged the guitar into an amp to make sure that the pickups were working properly, and thankfully they were. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, I turned them down.
Okay.
Yeah, middle, and it should be on. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. That's
Perfect.
it.
Nice. With the wiring complete, we screwed down the control cover and the jack plate and made sure everything was in alignment. We then test fit the neck in the slot and checked if the nut and saddle slots were in alignment, which they were. We then moved everything over to Perry's main assembly table. After screwing on the neck plate backward at first, I finally secured it properly. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Well, make sure we get the branding in there. Oh, but Disco Stew, we're very important.
This video was not sponsored by Disco Stew.
Yeah. All right, I guess
So these are tight.
this should be, yeah, I want to line this up now. I want to put those in. And while attaching the pickguard, we noticed little bits of shielding tape poking out from underneath the pickguard. So I used a utility knife and Perry's maxed out credit card to remove it without damage to the body. Then I screwed in the included top and bottom strap buttons, which had black little rubber washers to prevent damage to the body. And it was finally time to string this bad boy up, so I attached the tuning keys and Perry gave them a bit of lubrication. Not sure how these are going to hold up over time, but for now they work great. I then got to embarrass myself in front of Perry with how slowly I strung up this guitar. Look, sometimes it's hard to perform when people are watching. Don't judge me. Fortunately, you get to watch it all and fast forward. I used the unbranded strings that came with the kit because I wanted to see how they'd perform, which is actually pretty decent. I usually see people on YouTube throw these things right in the garbage, and it seems kind of wasteful if you ask me. Next, we marked the locations for the string trees and screwed them into the headstock. The ideal spot for the B and E string trees would have been smack dab in the middle of my logo, so I moved it a bit forward. Finally, we gave this guitar a full professional setup, which I'm going to blast through on fast forward. With the guitar tuned up, we had just a wee bit of neck relief, which was good. We then set the string action to 1.75 millimeters for the low E and 1.5 millimeters for the high E at the 12th fret, which is pretty standard height for electric guitar. We measured the fretboard radius, which was 14 inches, and then adjusted the bridge saddles to match. And we also intonated the bridge saddles, which was pretty finicky because each saddle barrel intonates 2 strings at the same time. Finally, we filed the plastic nut slots, which were a little high out of the box. I want to thank Perry a lot for sharing his tools and workshop and spending so much time teaching me the ropes. I really learned a lot, and I can't wait to set up a rival shop called Greasy Gazelle's Guitars. But after watching me work, I don't think he's too concerned. All right, so I've been playing around with this guitar for about a week now, and I have some first impressions. First of all, in terms of looks, I think it's gorgeous. I like the simple butterscotch color I went with because it contrasts with the shiny chrome and the sparkly pick guard. I also like the black accents on the bridge pickup, the switch cap, the binding, and on the headstock. I'm pretty impressed with how this guitar feels and sounds, given it wasn't that expensive for the kit. I think it was well worth giving it a fret job because the hand goes up and down very nicely. The pickups are unbranded single coils. I think they're potted. They also sound pretty good to my ears. Again, I mean, these aren't name brand, but no complaints. Hopefully you'll agree when you hear the demo. Things stays in tune pretty good. I'm just playing with the stock strings that came with this guitar, nothing fancy. And maybe I should just shut up and you can hear how this thing sounds. Yeah. This project took me a little bit longer to complete than I thought it would, but I know my next kit's going to go together a lot smoother. I'd like to thank Solo again for the donation code and collaborating on this project. If you're in the market for a guitar kit or any other luthier supplies or finishing supplies, check out their website. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. The quality of their stuff's great. Prices are reasonable and their support's awesome. Also, a little bird told me that they're bringing in some cool new kits in July or August of 2025, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Also, I want to thank Perry from Monkey Guitars again for answering all my weird questions and overseeing the final assembly and helping me give this a true professional setup. That was awesome. You can check out his website, monkeyguitars.ca, or search him up on Facebook, where he's always posting what he's working on, and there's some cool experimental things I think you might get a kick out of. Finally, if you want to own this guitar, which I hope you do, because it's awesome, head on over to Facebook and search Northern Critters in Need Garage Sale, links in the description, which is their auction page. You can read all the auction details there. Just so you know, I'm into this kit for about $350 Canadian, plus about 15 to 20 hours labor. If that helps you come up with any sort of number that you'd like to feel comfortable bidding. Again, every penny of this is going to go towards Northern Critters in Need. I'm not trying to recover any of my costs. Hopefully we can raise some money for the dogs and the cats. Mostly the dogs, because I don't get cats. Not a cat guy. Don't really get cat people either. No offense. But yeah, I don't. I'm kidding. We'll share with the cats too. I've learned you don't make cat people angry on the internet. Didn't go so well for that other Canadian. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. If you like this sort of thing and want to see more, please show your support with a like, a subscribe, or a comment. And until next time, stay cool and take care of yourself.